Today, we're going to dive into a really powerful story from an ancient spiritual text. It's a parable, and it uses this simple, striking image of a burning house to ask a pretty deep question about our own reality and what it takes to escape a danger you don't even know you're in.
And really, it all comes down to this one central problem, right? How in the world do you save someone who has absolutely no idea they're in trouble? This is the dilemma the whole story is trying to solve.
So let's get into the story. It all kicks off with a father and his desperate, but pretty clever, plan.
Okay, so picture this. There's a very wealthy old man, and he lives in this huge, sprawling house. But here's the catch. The place is old, it's falling apart, and most importantly, there's only one single door to get in or out.
Now, inside this huge, crumbling mansion are his kids, and they are completely lost in their own little world, just absorbed in their games. They're so focused on having fun that they have zero awareness of anything else.
And then, it happens. A fire breaks out. We're talking flames erupting everywhere. The whole house is being engulfed. And the father, who's watching all this from outside, is just horrified. He's totally powerless.
The scripture really drives this point home. It says the children are so caught up in their playing that they don't know what's happening. They don't feel any fear. The fire is getting closer and closer, but to them, it's not even a disaster. It's just not on their radar.
So the father knows something crucial. Just yelling fire isn't going to work. They're way too distracted. And he can't just run in and drag them out. He needs something smarter, a clever enticement. So he comes up with this compassionate strategy. He'll promise them something they want even more than their games, these amazing toy carts waiting for them just outside the door.
And you know what? It totally works. The kids hear about the toys, and they all come rushing outside to safety. But what they find waiting for them? Well, it isn't exactly what they were promised. And this is where the story gets really, really interesting.
So the children come running out, all excited, asking for the carts their father promised. But instead of giving them 3 different types of carts, he gives every single child the exact same gift, one unbelievably magnificent great cart. It's covered in jewels, it's pulled by a powerful white ox, and the text says it's as swift as the wind. I mean, this is way beyond anything they could have possibly imagined.
So why the switch? The father's reasoning is actually pretty beautiful when you think about it. He says, look, I have countless treasures. It would not be right to give my children inferior carts. His logic is simple. They are all his children. He loves them all equally. So why would he give them anything less than the absolute best he has to offer?
Okay, so you have to wonder, right? Was he being deceptive? What is the real meaning behind promising 3 different things, but then giving one much greater gift instead? This question is the real heart of the whole parable.
And this is the big reveal. The scripture pulls back the curtain and explains that this story isn't really about a literal father and his children. The house, the fire, the kids, it's all one giant metaphor for our world and our lives.
First up, the burning house. According to the text, that house is our world. It represents what's called the 3 realms of existence, a place that's fundamentally filled with suffering, impermanence, and all sorts of illusions and dangers that we usually don't even notice.
And that fire that's consuming the house? Well, that represents the fundamental pains of life that every single one of us has to deal with. Birth, old age, sickness, death, not to mention things like greed, sorrow, and delusion. These, the text says, are the flames that are always closing in around us.
Which means, and this is the part that kind of hits home, we are the children. The parable is saying that all of us, living beings, are so absorbed in the games of everyday life, our careers, our entertainment, our worries, that we are totally unaware of the fact that we're living inside a burning house.
Okay, so if we're the children and the world is the house, what about those toy carts he promised? Well, they represent the different spiritual paths that are offered as a way to get out of the fire. The 3 different carts he promised symbolize what the text calls the 3 lesser vehicles. You can think of these as different kinds of spiritual teachings, sort of like starter packs designed to appeal to different people and just get them to take that first critical step outside. But that one incredible cart he actually gave them, that is the great vehicle, the ultimate, all-encompassing teaching that leads to total, complete liberation. And this brings up this really brilliant concept of skillful means. The father wasn't lying to his kids. He was using a wise and compassionate strategy to save their lives. In the exact same way, these lesser vehicles might not be the final, ultimate truth, but they are an absolutely essential tool to get people to escape immediate danger.
So what is this ultimate great vehicle? What is this one magnificent cart? Well, the scripture itself claims to be that final supreme teaching.
The text uses these huge, powerful metaphors to explain its own importance. It says it's like the sea, which is greater than all the rivers that flow into it. It's like the moon, brighter than any star. And it's like the sun, which can destroy all darkness. It even calls itself the Father of all sages and saints.
The ultimate promise, then, is one of total salvation. This teaching is presented as the answer to literally every kind of suffering you can imagine. It's like a cool pond when you're dying of thirst, or a bright lamp when you're lost in the dark.
So in the end, this parable is so much more than just a story. It's a map. It's suggesting that, yeah, there are lots of paths that can lead you out of immediate danger, but there is one ultimate path, one great vehicle that offers the chance to rise above the burning house entirely and find a liberation that is lasting and real.
And that leaves us with the final, piercing question the text poses to every single one of us. It turns the whole metaphor right back on you and me, and it asks, are we paying attention? Are we so lost in our games that we can't see the smoke? Are we really, truly aware of the house we're in?